boys and girls. Welcome to Literacy Night. Grab your packet, pull out the paper that's in there, and take a look at the very famous movie character Shrek. Did you know that before there was the movie series about Shrek, that William Steege wrote this book, Shrek? So tonight's activity is going to be based around this book that was made into the movie Shrek. So as you get settled, the first thing I want you to do is look at the book cover Shrek compared to the picture you have of the movie character Shrek. And we're going to take a look at our 5 senses to describe this character. The first category is describe what you see. Think about words that tell about things like the size of Shrek, the color of Shrek. You could describe things about the features of Shrek, like his ears, his teeth, his eyes. And like I said, you can look at the cover, or you can take a look at the picture of the movie character Shrek that you have in front of you. If you want to hit pause as we go through each of these categories so you have a minute to write down your words, that would be a great idea. And then you can hit play when you're ready to move to the next category, which is what would you hear? Think about what words you could use to describe what Shrek's voice might sound like, noises that he might make, and then hit pause and fill out your chart. When you're ready to move on to the next one, it's your sense of taste. Now, I would not recommend tasting Shrek, but I do recommend using your imagination to describe the taste of things that Shrek might like to taste. Because if you have seen the movie Shrek, Shrek has an appetite for things that you and I might find a little bit icky. Next is your sense of touch. Think about if you were to touch Shrek's skin, what it might feel like. Think about your sense of touch when you look at the outfits that he wears. And then lastly, your sense of smell. Think about if you walked over to Shrek and took a big whiff of the smell around him. Use your imagination to think about and describe words for what Shrek might smell like. When you're finished with your chart, you can get settled in to hear the story, Shrek. And I'm only going to read part of the book because at the end, I'm going to tell you how you can find out if the book turns out like the movie. So to get us started, I want you to think about when we are looking at Shrek, and if you know anything about the movie Shrek, we kind of think of a character that might make you go, ew. But the fun thing about Shrek is that he loves himself just how he is, and he lives his life loving every minute of the things that you and I might think are a little bit icky. So here is Shrek by William Steege. I love this picture. So cute. His mother was ugly, and his father was ugly, but Shrek was uglier than the two of them put together. By the time he toddled, Shrek could spit a flame 99 yards and vent smoke from either ear. With just a look, he could cow a reptile, and any snake that was dumb enough to bite him would fall over instantly. One day, Shrek's parents were hissing things over, and they decided that it was time for their little darling boy to go out into the world to do his share of damage. So they bid him goodbye, and Shrek left his home in which he had been hatched. Now Shrek went slogging along the road, giving off his awful fumes. It delighted him to see the flowers bend aside and the trees lean away to let him go by. In the shady woods, he came across a witch. She was busily boiling bats and turpentine and turtle juice, and as she stirred, she crooned, "This is the way I cook my bats, stir my bats, taste my bats, season my bats in the morning, stew and brew my bats, diddle and fiddle and faddle my bats early in the morning." "Ooh, what a lovely stench," Shrek cackled. The witch specialized in these horrible brews, but one single look at Shrek even made her woozy. When she recovered her senses, Shrek said, "Tell me my fortune, madam, and I'll let you have a few of my rare lice." "Splendid," crowed the witch. "Here is your fortune. Oochie poochie, itchy pitch, pay attention to this witch. A donkey takes you to a knight, and him you conquer in a fight. Then you wed a princess who is even uglier than you." Ha 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 and cock-a-doodle. The magic words are apple strudel. "A princess!" Shrek cried. "I'm on my way." Soon he came across a peasant, singing and scything. "You there, varlet," said Shrek. "Why so happy?" The peasant mumbled, "I'm happy scything in the rye. I never stop to wonder why. I'll hone and I'll scythe until the end, but now I'm busy, so goodbye." "Yokel!" Shrek snapped. "What do you have in that pouch of yours?" "It's just some cold pheasant to eat." "Pheasant? Peasant. What a pleasant present." The last thing that peasant saw before he fainted was Shrek glaring and warming up his dinner. Shrek ate and he moved on. Wherever Shrek went, every living creature ran away. How it tickled him to be so repulsive. Fat raindrops began sizzling down on his head. "Did you ever see someone so disgusting?" said the lightning to the thunder. "Never," Thunder growled. "Let's give him the works." Lightning fired his fiercest bolt straight into Shrek's head. Shrek just gobbled it up, belched out some smoke, and grinned. Lightning, thunder, and rain departed. In high spirits, Shrek stalked on and on. At the edge of the woods, he found a warning sign nailed to a tree. It said, "Hearken, stranger, shun the danger. If you plan to stay the same, you'd best go back from where you came." Shrek, of course, walked right past. And sure enough, a little way into the woods, a whopper of a dragon barred his path. Shrek just smiled and bowed. The dragon slammed him to the ground, but Shrek just laid there. He was amused. That dragon was preparing to rip Shrek's head from his body, but Shrek just looked him right between the eyes and belched a putrid blue flame. That poor dragon thuddled over, unconscious for the day. Now, I'm going to stop here and tell you two fun things. This book, if you're interested in finding out if Shrek really does get to marry the princess or not, we know what happens in the movie, but that doesn't mean it happens in the book, is that this book is available at TZ's library. So if you want to find out next year what happens in the book, when you're in 3rd grade, you can check this book out. Or the Putnam County Library has it as well. Or if you're really, really curious, Mrs. Dibble and I have the book that you can borrow. So now we're going to move on to some fun activities. Now don't forget, we're thinking about describing Shrek. And Shrek is very happy with how he is. So we might think, ooh, Shrek. Shrek loves himself because this is who he is.
Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to Literacy Night. I'm Mrs. Divil, and I am here to say hello to you in your homes tonight. I hope you're enjoying your evening with your family, and maybe some friends have joined you for this. I would love for you to look once again at our book titled Shrek. And I know that when Mrs. Hayes read this wonderful story to you, she asked you to use your 5 senses and think about words that described the front cover. And I couldn't help but think, oh my goodness, Shrek is a brilliant green color. And if you agree with me, can you give me a thumbs up out there? Because I really think, wow, they could not have described him any better. I love that green color. So we thought we would take that green color, that brilliant green color, and create some fun slime. And your slime will be none other than a brilliant green. So we need to make sure that you have everything out and ready so that you can make this creation. I would like you to first place your bowl on a table or an area that you are working on right now. Now, boys and girls, if you need to pause this video so that you can find a space to set all of these items out and work at, you may do so. If you are ready, we will continue. Now, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to find the bag that is fluffy looking and soft when you touch it. It looks powdery. This is cornstarch, and we are going to use this for one of our main ingredients in our slime. You will also notice that your cornstarch is sparkly because just like the book cover, to be a brilliant green color, you almost have to have a few sparkles, don't you? So we have some glitter added to your cornstarch. Now, what I want you to do also is go ahead and take out your spoon from your baggie. Okay? And I think we are now all ready. I would like you to go ahead and open up your cornstarch. So here's the cornstarch. And I'm going to go ahead and just pour it gently into my bowl. Now, I know that good bakers and good cooks and people that love to make crafts sometimes get a little messy. So what I like to do is, first of all, just make sure that I'm trying to be as neat as possible because, as you notice, which it's kind of fun, I know, it is very powdery and dusty and it will get all over the place. So be very careful when you do that. And then once you're done with the baggie, go ahead and just lay it over to the side right now, okay? The next thing that I want you to do is this. Pull out the green, and this is conditioner. This is like what you would put in your hair when you wash your hair to make it nice and soft. But the fun thing about this conditioner is that it is a brilliant green, just like Shrek on the book cover. Do you see the similarities? There are some similarities, okay? So I want you to take that conditioner, and before you even do anything with the conditioner, I want you to squish it like this. Not too hard, just gently, so that you can kind of feel it. It feels slimy, doesn't it? And maybe a little bit gooey. And those are some wow words that I think would look really good on your sheet in just a few minutes, okay? So remember those words, slimy and gooey and squishy and maybe even a little oozy, okay? We also have brilliant green. And I want to go back to the bag of cornstarch. It was fluffy and white and powdery. Try to remember those words. So we have now placed everything in the bowl at this time, okay, with the cornstarch. I want you to take the conditioner, and I want you have 2 options. First thing you can do is you can squeeze it down to make it look like a little icing tube, like you're decorating cupcakes or cookies or a cake. You're going to kind of squeeze it to the corner. If you can see that, that would be great, okay? If you do that, you can take your scissors if you have any available, and you can clip just the tip just a little bit. And I would probably have mom and dad help you so that you don't over clip it, because that's going to make it really nice and easy to put just the right amount in to mix it so the slime blends together correctly for you. Okay, so if you want to use scissors and the bag like this, you may. If you don't have scissors or an option to do that, that is okay too. Open your bag up, and you're going to take your spoon and you're going to go ahead and scoop out, and I want you to really listen to this, because you don't want to put the whole thing of conditioner in yet. You only want to get 2 large, see how it's kind of covered the spoon, teaspoons full, and pour that in your cornstarch in the bowl. Okay, so you want to just only use 2 of these teaspoons. Don't put any more in yet, because sometimes when you put a little bit too much liquidy type things in your mixtures, it doesn't mix correctly, and then it's ruined and you have to start again. So that's why it's always best to start small and just put a little bit in at a time. Now, for those of you that wanted to clip your bag, watch what I do. This kind of makes it fun too. So watch this. I'm going to clip my bag at the tip, and I'm still not going to dump it all in. I'm still going to use my spoon, okay, because I want to do it correctly. And I'm going to go ahead and fill my spoon up. So 1 and 2. And I'm going to go ahead and get that in there. Now, once you have those items in your bowl, I want you to go ahead and stir it. Okay, and I want you just to keep stirring it until it gets all mixed in. And I know here my cornstarch is kind of flying out of the bowl and making a little bit of a mess. So I think I need to go a little bit slower, all right, so that it does mix in correctly. Now, boys and girls, the cool thing that you're seeing right now is the sparkles because of the glitter, and you're also seeing the brilliant green color, okay? You're also seeing the brilliant green color. And that's going to remind us of all of the things that Shrek went through in the story, and it will remind you that he is green, a brilliant green. And think about all of the wow words that you listened to as the story was being read to you. Now, as you stir it, it's going to start making a hard fixture, okay? It's just going to turn into kind of a hard glump. Now, what you want to do is, if you feel like you still need a little bit of conditioner added, Mom and Dad can help you, and you can just keep squeezing in a little bit more at a time, depending on what it's starting to look at. You'll be able to eye it and know if you need to add a little bit more or not, okay? Eventually, what I want you to do is you're going to take your hand and you're going to place this in your hand, and you're going to start what we call kneading it. You're going to go back and forth like this for a while. And what it's going to do, it's going to end up making a large ball of slime. Now, this is what I want you to do, okay? I want you to work with it for a little while, because it will take a while to knead it and to get it to form and shape correctly. Once you have your slime made, this is the cool part. I want you to see how long you can make it into a long string. What size ball can you make it into? And think about all kinds of other shapes that you see around your house, around classrooms. Just use your imagination and try to make as many things out of that slime as you can. Have fun with it, okay? The second thing I want to tell you is, once you are finished playing with your slime, you can add it back into your baggie, and you can seal it up, and it will be ready to use again when you're ready to play, okay? This slime should last you a few days. And the most important part that I really enjoyed was, in this story, I kind of learned that Shrek might not have smelled very good. He might have been a little smelly. But the interesting part of this slime is that it smells kind of good. So I know that we're talking about point of view in our stories the last few weeks. And I had to stop and think, maybe the animals around Shrek and maybe other creatures around Shrek might think he smells pretty good. But I think if he were to come into my classroom right now and sit down by me, we might think he smells pretty awful or gory or gross, just plain gross. So I want you to really think about how Shrek really would smell if he were to sit in your house with you right now. I think that would be kind of funny. Now, what I want you to do is on your sheet on the bottom where it says hear, taste, touch, smell, feel, okay, you're going to use your 5 senses, and I want you to touch your slime. I want you to listen to your slime. Is it making crackly noises? Is it gurgling like Shrek might have in the story? What do you hear? So how does it feel? What do you hear? Okay, I want you to think about that. What do you see? We once said we see brilliant green slime. It's ooey, it's gooey, okay? We might be able to stretch it out or shrink it up. Those are some really great wow words to use. But I want you to look at your sheet using your 5 senses on the very bottom that says used with slime, and think about words that you can add there looking at your slime and talk about it with your family. Now here's what I want you to do next. Sit down with your family and decide which word is your favorite. I want you to circle that word and bring it back to school the next day, and we're going to add it onto a post-it note. And what we're going to do is all of the words that come back to school we're going to place in the hallway. And it will be so fun to see what words you came up with in your family tonight using the slime and also looking at the book cover with Mrs. Hayes. And then you'll get to walk down the hallway, your 2nd grade hallway, and you will get to see all of these amazing words that you and other families came up with. And that's my most important part I love about tonight, is we get to come into your home and you get to work together as a family. So I hope you had fun. Keep kneading that slime. It will form and it will turn out great. If you need to add a little conditioner, don't forget to do that. But what I would like to end this part is my favorite picture that was in your packet is of Shrek waving to everybody. So what I would like to do before we close is everybody wave to Shrek and tell him goodbye. And then, as a family, decide. Maybe one night you will have time to watch the actual movie of Shrek. And if you do, you can always turn your paper over and you can write the words similarities and differences. We do talk about this. And you can compare the book that was read. So talk about things that are the same and talk about things that are different from the movie compared to the book. So there are some fun things that you can do with each other. I thank you for joining us tonight, and I hope you had a really great time. Enjoy your slime, and remember to zip it up back in that Ziploc bag, okay? Seal it up so that you have it for a few more days to enjoy. We will see you very soon. Take care. Thank you.